Goodwin, the Jamaican in China and beyond. And I'm speaking to you now from a restaurant in Da Nang, Vietnam. Just finished my meal. And I wanted to just share a thought with you. One of the reasons that the Jamaican in China blog and Facebook page and YouTube channel exists is specifically to offer an alternative travel narrative for individuals who might want to escape and see the world but may be limiting themselves. So I present myself as if you can relate to me in some way, whether it's because I'm from the Caribbean, whether it's because I'm a man, whether it's because I used to be a frustrated civil engineer, then I'd like you to use this blog and my experiences to inspire you to break free, jump out, become a nomadpreneur if you want to, see the world and escape some of the limitations that people often feel about themselves, their views on the world, limit them from jumping out and really crossing these imaginary boundaries that society has set up. So in the course of my own travels, I run across other individuals who are doing the same thing. So I'd like to introduce you to them every now and then in the series entitled Say Hello to My Little Friends. This next individual I'm going to introduce you to is Ronnie Defour. He is originally from Trinidad, ran into him here in Da Nang and wanted to share his experience with you so you can have an alternative travel narrative to inspire you. Hi everyone, this is WALT, Jamaican in China, and I'm here in Da Nang, Vietnam with Ronnie Defour, who I met a few days ago when I first landed. And Ronnie happens to be from Trinidad as well, so I thought I would introduce him to you as a fellow Caribbean traveler in Asia. So Ronnie, say hi to everyone.
Hi everyone.
Okay, now what brings you to this side of the world?
What brings me to this side of the world, first off, is pretty much my wife. My wife is Vietnamese. I met her about 3 years ago, and at first I was thinking about traveling to Japan, and then I ended up meeting my wife, who was in Japan at the time, and came to find out she was Vietnamese. And like I said, in our prior conversation, I've always been kind of what you call a world thinker, you know what I mean? I've always thought outside the box. I've always think small. I'm not a small-minded thinking person. I always think, broad-mindedly. So I've always been that person that would be in the room, would probably be the only person of that ethnicity, when everyone else might be something else. So therefore, I've always felt like I owe it to myself as being what you call an ambassador to my Caribbean people. One, plus since I grew up in America, to the African Americans, and also to myself. But mostly to myself first, because this is who I am. I'm a very outward, forward-thinking, mix and mingle kind of guy. I don't stay in my own box. I don't let people put me in a box. I don't let society or media, social media, categorize who I am. I basically set my own standards and I live my own passions. Despite ethnicity, despite culture, despite what, because I believe it's all about learning. It's all about experience. It's all about growing as a person. First before the world makes you out to be someone else.
Now you know that there are a lot of people who are sitting at home who may not even have a passport.
Right.
People who may want to travel but feel a little bit apprehensive. And you've covered some of this in the last few minutes. But what words of advice would you give to someone who might be from the Caribbean, who might be from the African diaspora, who has a desire to travel to Asia but might be a little apprehensive because they don't know what to expect? What sort of encouragement?
Encouragement, I say, do it. Let your curiosity be your guide, because if you want to travel abroad with an open mind. Get the first thing up, get yourself a passport. Let your curiosity be your compass and guide, and allow it to nourish your knowledge of things. Allow it to fill you up with the perspectives that, hey, you know what? There are people out there different from me, and I don't have to just be in my own little comfort zone where I'm accepted more. You have to be able to feel confident enough to be accepted by others outside of your comfort zone, and which is which is something I've done for the last 46 years of my life.
And where else have you traveled throughout Asia?
I've traveled to, well, I've been in Korea, South Korea. Love South Korea. Would like to live there at one point, but you know, like I said, my wife is Vietnamese, so I'm here living in Vietnam. I've chosen to make a life here in Vietnam. Everywhere I've gone in Vietnam, to be honest, a lot of people look at me and like, hey, you look like that actor. To really be honest, think more, I am the actor. I've actually got a guy today told me, he said, I remind him of Martin Luther King. I've gotten very handsome guy, very handsome. I'm very friendly, very outgoing, like your attitude, and so on and so on. So it's like I keep getting the encouragement to stay here and build my life here even more, because you know, like I said, I've heard the same stories like some people have said, you know, about the racism, about the dislike, and about that. Those are all very small pockets of people. You can't allow a small population, because guess what? There's racism everywhere. There's racism in America. But you can't allow those small pockets of people to determine your outlook in life. You can't allow those small pockets of people to tell you who you're supposed to be and what you should be doing. You know what? Like I said, get yourself a passport, do it. Travel. My goal is to travel all of Asia in 5 to 10 years. And I want to go to see the Great Wall of China. I want to go to the Silk Road, which was created a long time ago by Genghis Khan. And it's not Genghis. It's not Genghis Khan. It's Genghis people. Genghis Khan. You know, I've actually, and to be honest, I have written papers when I was in college on ancient Chinese history, you know, various parts of it, of course, because we have to compare and contrast in different regions. So I do have a college background as well. My degrees in social psychology, which basically is dealing with people, cultures, perspectives, and different things. So now you see the kind of person I am, and when you have an outward forward thinking, that's what you see. You see the world not as a color, you see the world as a whole.
And your goal is to actually relocate here to Da Nang.
Right, my goal is to relocate here to Da Nang.
Very soon, as a matter of fact.
Very soon, within the next 5 months. I do have to fly back to America to do my last little piece of wrap up in order to get things going here. So I've been here for a month, and being here for the month that I'm here has made me feel so welcome that I don't want to leave for the next 5 months and come back. But I have to, you know, like a lot of, I'm also want to do a lot of comparison as well, like contrast and compare and contrast with Caribbean lifestyle and East Asia lifestyle, and it's very similar. You would not believe a lot of the foods that you find here, you find in the Caribbean. It may have a different name, but they're here. Absolutely. The culture, the people, the understanding might be a different language, but we're all the same. You know what I mean? And Caribbean life, I've come to find that it's almost the same as being in Southeast Asia. It's definitely a blessing to be outside of my comfort zone and be here, because to really be honest, this for me is a blessing in disguise. You know, to be with my wife, to raise my daughter who's Vietnamese, to just be amongst people who may not speak my same language but also understand me and also want to help me. And I found a lot of help. A lot of people here reached out to me within the first month since I've been here to actually come out and just, you know, hang or either help them in certain areas, which is really awesome. And those people are not of African descent, you know. So to me, that's a very beautiful thing.
Well, I thank you, sir. Thanks for your time.
All right.
And we'll put your contact information in the description below, so anyone who wants to be inspired and contact Ronnie can feel free to do so.